Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Newbie Zoom. I'm your host, Lance Riggen. Just wanted to put this kind of together for uh, anybody who's who's stuck or hasn't gotten started yet, basically struggling with fear and doubt, struggling with overthinking every little thing, struggling to get your first deal, whatever it is. There's so many different areas that you can be stuck. So this isn't just for newbies. There's a lot of people that hop on these Zooms who are seasoned and just stuck in a certain place. Because you can have success and grow and build a business and then get stuck at a certain level and not being able to move. And it really all comes back to the same place right up here. What your thoughts are, what you're speaking into existence. So I thought it'd be really cool. Plus, I've been doing newbie Zooms one on one since I joined Gator and Sub 2. I've joined Gator Sub 2 about 2 years ago now. I've been a real estate investor for about 10 years, entrepreneur for about 23 years. So I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two, right? And that's why I love doing this. I was doing one on ones so much, and it just got to the point to where it was eating away at my income producing activities at this point in my business. So I decided with my team, who's mostly on here, Chad, my boy Chad, who really pushed me to do this. I'd been talking about it for months. He is actually on his honeymoon, I think, in Europe, honey, in Europe right now for 2 weeks with his beautiful new bride. So Chad, this one's for you, baby. No, everybody, let's make a toast, right? Babe, pop the champagne. No. Anyways, yeah, so super excited for Chad. He's actually my automations guy, systems guy. He is a whiz, man. When you build your business to a certain point, you need automations. You need to make everything easier. And Chad's sole role on our team is, why are you doing that? Can we automate that? That's his question to every problem, right? We have. And Cynthia loves him too, because she worked on another team before she came over and started helping us. And every time, almost every day, she's like, wow, I love this team. Wow, Chad, especially early on, Chad was like, well, why are we doing this manually? Can we automate this? Like, that's always his question. And we're like, yeah, can we? I don't know. Like, you tell us, he goes, yeah, we can do this, and we can automate that, and just boom, and it's so dope. But anyways, yeah, we're just gonna let people roll in for a few more minutes before I introduce our guest speaker tonight. I'm so excited about this young man. I got to meet this young man. Geez, just what, last week, right before I left to Austin. Yeah, yep, last week. Last week we met. And I was so impacted by his story, and we were really in alignment on a lot of things. And I was like, man, I would love to have you come and speak to my newbie group, right? On this newbie Zoom, because it's all about mindset and struggles and moving the needle and getting just get the needle moving, right? Move. That's it. A lot of it it's really, that's all it is for the most part. Well, that was weird. Cynthia just popped in, but people just get stuck, man. And it's arguably, I'd say 90% of your business is up here in your head, right? As soon as you get right up here, you're gonna make things happen. It's once you conquer that fear and doubt, and the way you do that is partnering with other people. The way you do that is educating yourself. The way you do that is learning how to underwrite, knowing what a good deal looks like, building relationships with those people that you think you want to work with, right? You really got to get to know people before you just jump in bed with them, so to speak. I see the mistake over and over again. People go, oh, hey, this looks like a great deal. I just joined the community 3 days ago and I got in my first deal. And I'm like, whoa, slow down, killer, right? What? Let's talk about that. And they go, well, yeah, I probably didn't do it right. I probably didn't. And I'm just like, oh God. So don't be so eager that you're just going to jump into any deal that comes along. It's not worth losing money. I can tell you that. Ask me how I know that. I lost $10,000 on my first deal. So very first deal in the Gator community, lost 10,000. My two partners each lost $25,000 because we didn't vet the borrower good enough. So I have the right to speak on this. And honestly, Pace even says that $10,000 lesson could have probably saved me maybe $1 million down the road, right? That's kind of what Pace says, and he's right. We learned so much last year, failing forward, making a mess of things, just not doing things right. We were doing some things right, but we learned so much. There was like, wow, there's so much room for improvement, and the only way you're going to learn that is by taking action. Chances are you get into real estate investing, you're going to lose some money at some point. You're going to have some really hard days. You're going to have some great days. You're going to make a lot of money, but you have to be okay with the fact that you might get into some trouble. Not might, you will. Like, you just have to really go into it with the mindset of not if, but when. That's what I always say. And that's why when we have obstacles, like with title companies, with TCs, with borrowers, lenders, you name it, like, I'm already mentally prepared that the deal isn't going to go smooth all the way to the closing table, right? And if you go into it with that, you expect the best, or you hope for the best, but expect things to go wrong, right? There's going to be some things that are just going to go wrong. It's all in how you handle it. If you handle it well and you expect that something's going to go wrong, then when it comes up, you go, oh, okay, I knew this was coming. You bob, you weave a little, right? And you just keep going. But yeah, I think we're looking pretty good. We got 23 people in here right now. I'd love to see some more people on here. Thanks for joining, everybody. John, good to have you in your car, bro. Is that are you out there doing traffic signals with that vest or what? What do you got going on?
No, I'm just getting off work. I'm a truck driver.
Nice, man. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming.
I'm here every time.
My guy. I love it.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Let's see. All right. Okay. Well, I want to introduce this young man. So I wanted to just kind of let me kind of open this a little bit real quick. So, but yeah, I just want to tell you guys, if you haven't been to Austin, Texas, you've got to go. It was so sick. Live music capital of the world, right? Yeah, I hear some mixed reviews about Austin. It's the new California of Texas and this and that, right? And there's some truth to it, right? It's a little weird. There's a lot of weirdos and hippies, but I love that shit, man. I love that diversity. You know what I mean? I came from Eugene, Oregon. I think it's cool to be around people that don't think the same as you. I don't know. Call me weird, but I think that's what makes America great, personally. And had a blast. A lot of good music, really cool people there, really cool vibes. I got to meet Alan Shesker, the Shesker Group. He owns multiple title companies in Austin. He's like one of the premier. Basically, Pace has used him on his deals. He knows Pace, and really got to know him and his wife while we were there. He sponsored one of the meetups and paid for drinks. It was pretty dope. But it was so cool to be able to speak. My wife spoke on the balance of love and business. I want to start bringing her into more of these little speaking engagements with me. And it was just really, really cool. And everybody resonated. And we're talking to this attorney who owns like 5 title companies, multimillionaire. He owns a yacht, sick, like Mercedes AMG, like, cool dude. Really cool, down to earth people too. But by the end of the night, his wife, I was talking to his wife. My wife was talking to him. It was kind of funny. And we got to know each other that way. And by the end of the night, she's showing me photos of the yacht, the Corvette that they bought for a year and sold for the same price. And she's like, you guys should come out on our yacht next time you're out. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Right? Holy shit. Yes. Right. What day? Like, let's lock it in right now. Right. But it was super cool. Super cool experience, guys. So but yeah, anyways, make sure you're getting out to the meetups. That's a big part of it, man. The more you get around successful people who are driven and doing things, it tends to rub off on you. Super important. At least the live Zooms. The live Zooms are important, but getting out to the meetups is crucial. Getting that vibe, it's like a whole vibe, right? When you get into those rooms, like a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. The conferences, the buzz, people are excited. They're doing deals. Like, you're going, wow. you talk to people who just started a year ago and they're like, man, I made freaking $500,000 in a year. You're like, holy shit. That's the type of stuff that's electric, and it's like it's contagious. It's contagious. That's why my wife and I try to go to 4 conferences a year, one per quarter. That's kind of a goal we set a couple years ago. But to think bigger, you have to get around people who are doing bigger things. Does that make sense, guys? um Anyways, I want to introduce you to this outstanding young man, over prepared, I think, in my opinion. No, he's sending me this awesome slideshow. I was like, well, holy crap, dude. I said, hey, I can give you like 15, 20 minutes. He goes, man, can I get 25 minutes? This guy's got a whole presentation together. I love it. Totally opposite of how I do things, right? I'm shooting from the hip. He's got this beautiful presentation. But anyways, I wanted to bring on Tony. He was talking about we were talking about mindset, a little bit about this Zoom, and he started going into some things that he had battled with: anxiety and depression, and weight right management, and he started talking to me, and I was like, whoa. This guy's 21 years old, and he started figuring out how to get his head in the game and get his business rolling. This guy, he's a really sharp young entrepreneur. He's gonna, I think, if not, he's gonna have his own coaching business. He's doing a lot of big things. I want to help, or I want to introduce to you Tony Boutros. Did I say that right, Tony?
Yeah, you got it right.
Oh,
A
my
lot of people
guy,
don't get it right,
Tony.
the spelling or the pronunciation. So I want to say thank you for the intro. That was a great intro.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
know that hopefully I can live up to all that. But I really like how you started it as well with the very first thing you said was level doesn't matter for mindset, like something along those lines where I I have started the coaching business and I just met with a client yesterday who's a really good friend of mine and he's a local investor, agent, and pastor. And he wants to make an impact like on a global scale. He's made a significant impact in the local market in Indianapolis, both like in ministry and in real estate. But he kind of had the fear of judgment with he thought that people were going to judge him, like think that he's boasting versus like he's trying to push the word of
Mm.
God. And so, like, I don't
Mhm.
want to get overly spiritual on you guys, but that is a big part of my mindset, how I've transformed my
Dude,
life.
hey, do
And
you,
so,
bro?
yeah. So, but great to see all of you guys. Hopefully, we can connect. And dude, like, the fact that Lance puts this together and that he used to like do so many, like you were saying before, one-on-one meetings like this, just I think he deserves maybe a thank you, Lance, in the chat or something. And yeah, I may have over prepared a little bit, but
No, you're
I
good. Do I
will.
need to make you co-host? Are you gonna go through some slides and stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen.
Yeah, let me
I don't know if
get
I need to
you.
be co-host in order to share it or
Yeah,
not.
yeah, you do.
Let me see.
Let me get you on here. Boom, you should be good.
Okay, cool. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Cool. So that is me in a suit from which is completely different from what I'm wearing now. I'm just wearing a t-shirt and uh, I actually just came to church with gym clothes on, pretty much. They're doing line dancing tonight, and everyone's like dressed in country clothes. I'm here in gym clothes. So not I don't exactly dress like that every day, but I do like to use that photo. So anyway, this is a transformative mindset journey, and I am, as Lance was talking about, I'm excited to share my personal story of triumph. My whole childhood was I literally I tell people I didn't have social anxiety. Like I was social anxiety. Like I would not talk to a single person. Like I always talk about how like people, so most people they fear public speaking more than they fear death.
Yes,
I
that's
took
true.
that
That's
to the
true.
next level. I feared speaking, like someone asked me for a pencil in class, going to order something from a barista. I just feared opening my mouth because I had been bullied and isolated for so long in a school of like the middle school was like 3,000 people, the high school was like 7,000, so like bigger than some colleges. Um, but I also want to make sure that I'm not just making it all about me today. Like I want to leverage kind of my testimony, my story to help you guys, not just, hey, this is Tony, he's so great, yada yada yada. Like that's not what I'm here for. And I don't know,
Yeah.
Lance, you need me to be admitting all these people that are requesting,
No,
or is someone else doing that?
no. We got that covered.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
So
on the team now, bro. So yeah, you need to get on the admin stuff. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're good, bro. I
okay.
want you to just tell us your story, and I want you to dig in a little bit to, like you said, the crippling. You just did a great job. So
Yeah,
don't worry.
yeah.
Yeah, this is a good.
I think
This is great.
the second slide is more on like the personal, and then I kind of go into how I overcame like analysis paralysis and that kind of thing with real estate. But like I was saying, my goal isn't to like self-glorify. My goal is
Yeah.
to help you guys unlock your potential and pave the way for your success, whether in real estate or any other endeavor. Like I said, my client yesterday, he's a real estate investor, but I also have another client I'm working with right now. They have a marketing agency and like a photo booth company. And so I work with leaders, like really anyone who is a way finder, a way maker. It could be a ministry leader, it could be a business owner, it could be an artist, a like anyone who's not conforming to what society tells you you need to do. College, get a 9 to 5, like all this stuff. So that's what I've been passionate about since coming out of my testimony years, I guess. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So early life struggles. So yeah. So I remember in elementary school, we had a great time. But I moved from a small like inner city school to huge school in Carmel, Indiana. I don't know if anyone knows that where that is, but like one basically 5 times larger. And a lot of people don't like Carmel because they see them as like rich, snobby kids. And they're good at like sports, they're good at the education stuff like math bowl, spell bowl, that kind of thing. And so like they dominate everything because of how big they are. Like it just numbers. They're gonna be good because they have 7,000 people, whereas other schools have 3,000. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I was always a kid who tried to fit in with like the popular kids, the jocks, athletes, cheerleaders. Not being one of the cheerleaders, but like being around that group,
Hey, it's
because it
okay,
seemed like
bro.
they were
We're not
celebrities.
gonna judge you, bro. No.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go out and cheer. Yeah, no. Um, but yeah, so like I always just try to fit in and really just never did. But like with entrepreneurship, where you have to be relentless, I tried to be relentless with being a part of that group, and that never happened. So I ended up being bullied. And I literally became like basically all through middle school and high school, where I would go to school, come home, and sleep and repeat. Like that was my day. And so that led to, like I said, isolation, but then really, really bad depression, and social, like I said, social, like horrendous social anxiety,
Mm.
where I wouldn't even open my mouth. This was like with teachers too, not even just people my age. Um,
Can
and
you
that led to
can you
anger.
can you dig into a little bit what does it mean to have social anxiety?
So social anxiety for me looked like basically you would walk in a room and there's one of two things would happen. So first, and kind of actually both would happen. First, I would walk in a room. Okay, I see this guy, and this guy. That's telling me who I am. Like that's telling me what mask I need to put on. What is it? A fake smile? Is it a fake emotion? Who am I today? Is based off who's in the room. So I'm putting on a fake persona. I'm not being myself. I'm not being authentic. And two is like literally shaking. Like a lot of you, if you've done public speaking before, sometimes you might be shaking a little bit before. Literally, like, and this is like just with like, like with individual conversations, like shaking. So that was kind of what social anxiety was for me. And then like outside of those uh, environments, it was just like I don't want to be in that environment because I don't want to feel that way. And so that's why, like once I started driving, especially, I was always late to school. I was always leaving school early. All throughout my middle school and high school years, I would always like fake being sick. or I would like physically feel sick, but it's because of like I'm stressing my own self out. And so because of all that, I ended up with like basically intensive therapy all throughout high school and middle school.
Wow.
And most of it was outpatient. So I think if I'm a lot of it honestly was like kind of buried down. I think your kind of mind does that, like buries a lot of the that kind of stuff down. But like if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
it was like Monday through Friday, every day after school for like 2 or 3 hours, basically all of my middle school and high school years, ultimately leading to November 2021. I I don't even know what provoked it, or maybe I do. It's just buried down, like I said. But I all I remember is like I had locked myself in my bedroom with like a huge bookshelf that I had and like a big knife. And I had never
Mm.
done any like self-harm or and I also stayed away from like substance abuse. So I was really blessed in that way that I didn't like do any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I had a big knife. Honestly, it was probably more for attention. Like just like in my mind, I just wanted like I felt like I lacked so much attention and I just wanted that and I didn't know the difference between good and bad attention.
Hmm.
And um my mom called my uncle who like lives an hour away. My dad was at work, so he wasn't around like for the day. My parents were together, but my uncle came and they gave me an ultimatum. I mean, and it was um go to therapy, like go to inpatient therapy, go to jail or like get the cops called on you or get kicked out of the house. And at the time I had like $100 in the bank. So that wasn't a good option. I don't want to get arrested, so that wasn't a good option.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to go to inpatient therapy, so that wasn't a good option. And so I chose what the least bad of the three options were, um, which was going to inpatient therapy, which honestly felt like jail. Like we couldn't wear shoes, like because they wouldn't trust with like shoelaces. You can use your imagination on that one. Um, if I remember correctly, we were wearing like hospital gowns and we were doing therapy like all day long, every single day for a week. And I remember I did learn one big lesson in there, and that was like to appreciate the little things in life, right? I think a lot of us, we go through life and we take a lot of stuff for granted, like waking up, like literally waking up.
Mhm.
Okay, and then waking up in a bed, and then waking up in a bed that has covers, and then going to brush our teeth, and then going to take a hot shower, and like all these little things that like are just part of our day, we take for granted. And but what happened there was I um I heard music, and I think I want to say it was Taylor Swift. I could be completely off. I can't remember what the music was. I want to say it was Taylor Swift. And this was like 5 days in. We were working on worksheets, and just that music sounded like heaven to my ears because I had no dopamine really. Like I had bad habits back then with social media
I was gonna
and
say, man, you
lust.
must have been messed up if that sounded good to you. No, just kidding. I get
So
it. No, I'm just playing.
yeah,
But
but
yeah,
like yeah, so
music's
it was really just it wasn't even
music's
like yeah.
good for the soul, bro.
Yeah.
100%.
So now I'm a huge I tell people I mostly listen to my three go-tos are worship music, um, Alex Mosley, and I also have been listening to the George Janko podcast a lot recently.
Hmm.
Who, if you guys don't know who that is, I don't even know the difference between Logan and Jake Paul, honestly, but he was on one of the like the Impulsive. I don't know if it's Jake or Logan Paul. He was a
Sure.
co-host, made his own show that's like Christian based and has had like Brandon Lake, who's a big worship artist and everything on there.
Hmm.
But anyway, those are my three go-tos. So I really do like listening. I think what you have poured into you
Yeah.
is
Oh
what
yeah.
will pour out.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in that.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, so I don't want to take all day. I know it's at 25 minutes. I'm probably even
No, it's
going
okay.
longer
Let's
than that
just
right
let's
now.
just move it along into get into the did you
Okay.
cover the home did you actually were you actually homeless for a little while?
So homelessness, I wanted to touch on that, and
Yeah.
that was just a matter of not having stable housing. So it
Okay.
wasn't homelessness like in the way of like
Yeah.
literally living in my car in the street or something. So I want to like not lead anyone on
But you were right
there.
there, right? You were
Uh,
you were just on the brink basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And that would be, I mean, that I have a whole story with that too. But so I want to touch on now the power of mindset and real estate success. A lot of you, I'm sure, have probably dealt with limiting beliefs. And one of the biggest ones that I dealt with before I started my business was not as much fear of failure. It was more so the analysis paralysis. I remember I literally spent weeks trying to see, okay, what script do I want to use? What CRM do I want to use for weeks? Trying to figure out the perfect CRM and just like trying to perfect everything in my business, which by the way did not exist yet. I didn't have a business, but I was trying to make it perfect. And so that's one big thing. These mental blocks can paralyze progress and stifle growth. Like I said, the guy yesterday, he wants to get on social media and make a bigger impact, but he had fear of judgment. I have another client who he's at a point where he can start scaling his business and hire a full-time employee, but he's afraid of letting go of control because he's a perfectionist. And so we had to kind of go through that. And ultimately, it's like what I told him is like, and then let's say what is the worst case scenario? And I told him like he told me, maybe I get a bad review, maybe I have to refund all the money. And I'm like, dude, take it even worse than that. Let's say they do such a bad job. They call your next 6 months of prospects, and because he has some jobs lined up already, they call your next 6 months. Like you get all of them to cancel, and then what? Like, and you want to go down that rabbit hole not because you want to have negative thoughts, but because most people don't, and that's what paralyzes them. So once you understand this is the worst case scenario, it allows you to have the freedom to pursue where you're trying to go. And so that's what ultimately leads to the growth mindset, embracing challenges and viewing failures as learning opportunities, propels not only investors but business owners, ministry leaders, etc. forward. And this mindset fosters resilience and adaptability. Um, yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I had some calls where I just got hung up on within 2 seconds, and we're all going to face that in real estate. When we're talking to sellers, like that's just a game. So, but my journey in real estate specifically was
Yeah,
spinning my wheels, going through like 10 different meetings a day to six-figure success in wholesaling real estate, in just like under 6 months.
that's
And this was
badass.
literally,
We need to
yeah,
dig into this, obviously, a little bit more, a
so
little deeper on this one.
so this was around the same time last year. I was driving around a yellow drop top V6 Mustang convertible premium, like super super nice car. And I remember I would pull up to the gas station. I would feel anxious. I would have anxiety because I did not know if I had enough money in the bank to pay for gas.
Dang. Yeah,
And
living the
at that same,
status life.
yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
And so ended up selling the car, ended up driving around a hoopty, beat up minivan for a few months that my dad had, reinvested that money into the business. And I think it was about like 3 grand. And
Nice.
within the first month, I took imperfect action,
Yes.
and I turned that 3 grand into 35 grand with one deal.
Nice. That's
And that was
dope.
just one wholesale deal.
Yep.
It was actually like part of my, like, I was doing hours of networking before that.
Yeah.
Probably not the best use of time, but that did help me once I actually got a deal done. Do that.
Let's talk a little bit about how you did that. What did you use that $3,000 for?
I hired, I can't remember I think it was 2 or 3 cold callers, and then it was just like bulk data
Nice.
from
So
PropStream or
lists
whatever.
and skip
Yeah,
tracing and
yeah,
then you had the VAs cold calling. Boom, boom. How
yeah.
many did you track any of the data? How many calls were they making like a day or a week? Do you know?
Honestly, I wasn't even very good at that back then. And that's the
Okay.
thing is like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
You
there's
weren't even like
so many different things that could have been
super dialed
improved.
in. Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
like, honestly, if I were to redo that with the same amount of money, like, I'd probably put it into PPL. Honestly, like, that just, I think is a
Yeah,
better,
pay per
it
click.
depends on your circumstances. Like if you want 100 leads versus
Yeah.
10 quality leads, like it depends. But
For those of you who don't know,
yeah,
PPL or PPC, pay per click, right?
yeah,
You only pay for the
PPO is pay per lead. Yeah.
pay per lead and pay per click. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pace's Pace's buddies is like a huge, big time, has a big community for that. I think PPC
I think
or something like that. Is
I've
that
seen
right?
Pace post with
Who
I
knows
know
his
the
name?
company
Anybody know?
Lead Zolo. I can't remember the
Anyway,
owner's name.
it's
Yeah.
fine. But I see him. I see
Yeah.
him hanging out with Pace and Jamil all the time.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but I know he's the owner of Lead Zolo. I've seen them post together. Yeah.
Yes.
And then this is the agent I was talking about. I don't want to take, again, a ton of time, but I'll touch on his story a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a fellow agent and investor. He was paralyzed by the fear of judgment on social media, prevented him from showcasing his experience and connecting with potential clients to serve. He's a super close brother of mine, like has been significantly impactful in my spiritual journey. So like I know he has very, 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 very good intentions, but like we were talking yesterday and he was talking about how, social media is like billions of people. But the reality is like when you're creating content, you're not putting it out to billions of people. You're putting it out to people who like that type of content. So people like, if we're posting this on YouTube, like it's not going to be billions of people. It's going to be this type of, we have 25 people in here, times 10 or times 100, like 25,000 of this type of person, right? Not the whole world, right? So ultimately, we decided just like start with the end in mind. And he said, and I quote, he needs to get out of his own way. And so we spoke about creating an actionable plan for breaking into social media, and decided on using his current content creation for social media because he already hosts like an RE real estate boot camp twice a month. So literally take that content, put it on social media. Boom, done. Like you're not even taking more hours to make any content. And this is not yet, but I believe that overcoming his fear of judgment will lead to more authentic connections and increase impact. In his journey will inspire others in the industry to overcome similar fears.
So what would you say, how important would you say it is to create content and to be posting on social media every day?
That's a great question. It depends on this is going to be a cliche answer, but it depends on your goals. I think in the beginning, if you're just trying to get your very first wholesale deal done, like it's not necessary. I would say, like, honestly, like if you're trying to get your first deal done, like just go, and if you have the budget, turn on paper lead, get some sort of marketing done. If you don't have the budget, you can just cold call agents or even just meetings like this, like JV with people. One of my big beliefs is like it's much easier, honestly, for your network to take you from 1 to 100, but it's harder for it to take you from 0 to 1. Like to get you that first one, like that's you. You got to.
Yeah, okay. I can resonate with that. I mean, I'm always thinking bigger, right? So I'm always pushing social media content because it's crucial if you want to grow a large business.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. Like it depends on your goals. It depends on your circumstance.
Yeah,
like for me, like
focusing?
at my stage, like like for me right now, I'm focusing on my personal brand. Like I'm focusing on building content. And what I define personal brand as like interpersonal connections, like like actual relationships, but also social media.
No, that's a good point, man. I like that you said that actually, because you are right. I mean, focusing on what you need to do to get that first deal makes the most sense.
Yeah.
It's not social media. Social media is going to get you more deals, more in front of more people, into more rooms. But
because wholesale is like super simple, honestly. Like you talk to a seller, you tell them, "Hey, I'll pay you $100,000." Okay, then I'm gonna go talk to Lance. Hey, you want this for 120? Great. Now I made 20 grand on making 2 phone calls. And obviously, like it's not gonna be like your very first phone call every single time.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much the gist of wholesale. Like it's a very simple business. It's arbitrage. Like and especially if you already know like a lot of buyers. But I think people they just as going back to what we were talking about before, like they get stuck in analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
And so I created this for just overcoming limiting beliefs.
Yes.
And one of the things I tell people is you have to be willing to suck in the beginning. Like you're not gonna be Pace Morby on the phone on your very first call.
Exactly.
right? So take
Yeah.
action despite your fears, because imperfect action is always going to beat inaction. If you're
Yeah.
not taking action, you're going to get beat by the person who's taking terrible action every
Mhm.
single time.
100% of the time. I say that all the
So,
time too. Yeah.
yeah.
So true.
And then I always tell people to also zoom out. And this is like in anything, right? So, like, we live in a world that has 7 billion people. How much are other people really thinking about you? And, like, I just think about, like, we live in a galaxy. I was looking it up today, or we live in a universe. It has, like, I think it's had like 200 billion, or it's like 200 billion to a trillion galaxies. Our galaxy has 9 planets. Our planet has 7 continents. Our continent has 3 countries. Our country has 50 states. Our states have hundreds of towns and cities. Just my city alone, just like the metro, Indianapolis, has
Mhm.
1 million population. I could go and mess up with 100 people, and then what?
That's great.
Like, zoom out. No one cares about your life as much as you think they do. Like, people have their own stuff going on.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
like I was talking about with
So
Jamar,
good.
begin with the end in mind.
Mhm.
And a lot of times this is like, yes, visualize your desired outcome,
Yeah.
but also, like, dude, like, I would be willing to bet like all of you have some good reason why you want to make money. It's not just because you want to go buy a McLaren and go get a yacht and like go live a lavish life. You have a family, or you have like you have things that you want to take care of.
Mhm.
You want to give to this, you want to give to this nonprofit or this church or what, like, you have good reasons behind it.
Yeah, you
Most
got to
people.
dig deeper. Have you read was it Dean Graziosi's book, Millionaire Mindset, I think it's called? It's called The 7 Levels of Why. Have you done that
I am
exercise?
not.
It starts off at cuz this is a really good. I'm glad you said that because it's most people start off, and Pace references this a lot. Oh, I want to spend more time with my wife and my kids, right? That's my why.
Yeah.
Well, then what? Right? Why do you want to do that? Why? And then you ask why about the next one. Why about and you dig down deep. And after 7 whys, you get to the core principle, the core
Yeah.
why, the core meaning of what, why it's so important to you to accomplish, and build wealth,
Right.
So
That's good.
that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool. I have it sitting here on my laptop on a post-it. I still haven't done it like 3 months. It's been sitting there staring at me. So
Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. I
yeah.
think, yeah, I mean, and imagine what if you went through 7 different levels of your why. Like, imagine how much easier it's going to be to go make that call, because you have such conviction for, this is why I'm doing it. This is exactly why I am making this call to some seller that I don't know, that I'll probably never meet. I don't know if you guys are doing like in-person meetings. I was doing it all virtually. Um, but like, this is why.
Mhm.
And also, like, genuinely serving people. Not just trying to see how can I extract money from you. Right. So
Mhm.
that can be hard, like, to get in that mindset in the beginning, because you need,
Yeah, it's
like, some of
tough.
you need this check. Like, I was working DoorDash, Instacart, that kind of, like, and I want to stop doing that. So it's hard to, like, be in a mindset that I'm serving you. I'm not just trying to take from you in the
Yes.
beginning.
Yep.
But kind of this goes on with the same, with the first one, embracing imperfection,
Mhm.
consistent small steps. When I look back at my journey, it's been consistent small steps. It's been showing up and building relationships. And then I look back, like honestly, like, my life, I always feel like I'm moving too slow. I always feel like I'm moving too slow. But then I look back, like, 3 months ago, 6 months ago,
Mhm.
a year ago, a year ago was when I was in this store, when I was driving that hoopty minivan around.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
like, you take these small steps, and it's going to, you're not even going to recognize who you were six
Yeah.
months ago, a year ago.
It's only when you take consistent action. That's what happens,
Right.
Even you don't have to be super consistent, but doing something, continuing to do something on a daily basis is basically gonna move you a lot quicker, man. And that's
Yeah.
why that's why I always tell people to get your brand going on social media, because it's gonna catapult your business and catapult your relationships a lot faster than
Right.
if you were not doing it.
And I mean, definitely don't get me wrong. Like, I think I tell people, like, social media is the number one investment you can make in today's day and age.
Yeah.
But I I know there's a lot of people, and I know this was me, who are just like connecting without intention. What is the purpose of this connection?
Yeah.
And like people are afraid to niche down. Like, if you are a connector, great. Are you connecting money? Are you connecting like JV deals
Hmm.
with like dispoing deals? What are you focused on? Because if you're not
Yeah.
focused, you're not going to get any. You might get something done, but you're going to get 10% of what the person who's actually focused gets done.
Right.
And Hermosi talks about that a lot too, with like niching down your audience. Like he says, riches are in the niches, right? So,
Yeah.
um,
That's great.
we,
Yeah, if you don't mind, I want to kind of just speed up. If you have one or two more points,
yeah,
I'd like to kind of wrap it up and take some Q&A and then kind of
we
get into some other
can
stuff.
go. Yeah, I think we have pretty much. This is all stuff that we pretty much covered.
Okay.
Um, so we can go into questions if you
Perfect.
guys would like to.
Yeah, man. Awesome, man. I love it. If you could, there you go. Perfect, dude. Guys, what do you think? Is that pretty wild for a 21-year-old? I'm not going to say kid, but 21-year-old young man. I have my daughter is older than this guy. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Tony kicks ass, right? Let's go 1 in the chat. If you
I
got
appreciate that.
value out of that, put a 1 in the chat. But man, that was great, man. I really wanted to talk a little bit, man, unscripted here, right? About what some of the things that you and I talked about a little bit about. You went on a health journey, right? To help with
Yeah.
the mental battles with the anxiety and the depression, right? Can you dig into that a little bit for us and tell
Yeah.
us how important it is for you to be, healthy and how much of that really helps, with your mental stability.
Yeah. I mean, like today, in my current life, I live typically like 6 days a week. I try. I've not been amazing at it recently. I try to walk 3+ miles a day. I've
Mhm.
not been too great at it, but yeah, I mean, like in the beginning, I would say honestly, like getting in physical shape again was the catalyst to everything else because I was 260 pounds at my heaviest. Now I'm tall. I'm 6'3". So like right now I'm still even 215. But I think freeing when I gave my first sermon, I said like I didn't just shed the weight, like the physical weight. I also shed the weight of anxiety and depression and all
Mhm.
those mental barriers I had. And so for me, like I tell people to this day, I love looking big. I love looking like I work out, but like I work out primarily for the mental health aspect.
Yeah.
Like mental health is huge for me. Like I tell people I'm like a
Mhm.
dog. When you have a dog and you have a treat, like they perk their ears up. When
Yeah.
someone says something about mental health, like I'm there. Like I live for that. I thrive on deep conversations, and that's really why I've gone into coaching. It's just
Mhm.
because I care, you know.
Yeah.
But I've found I'm good at asking questions and like reading between the lines.
Yeah.
So like uncovering with the real estate agent. I asked him afterwards, like, did you think we were going to talk about social media today? And he said, no, it's because you kept asking these questions, and like we uncovered that was the belief I had. And same
Mm.
thing with the guy who has the control problem with like not wanting to hire anyone.
Mhm.
So because he has like, a couple contractors that work on like a project based um, role and such, but he wants
Yeah.
to hire full time. So
That's cool. I just talked to a guy today who was looking, for a little cash to kind of spruce up his new business, right? That he'd
hmm
started. And it's tough because he just started the business. There's no
yeah,
business really, right? There's
right,
no you can't really put an evaluation on it. It's worth nothing right now. And
yeah,
so I had to explain that to him. But he went into his day to day. I just try to help him. I was like, look, man, it's probably not going to be a good fit for me to lend you money, but I've been a business owner for a long time. Let's talk about what your day to day looks like. What are you doing? What's your biggest weak spot? And he goes, well, I'm basically the business right now. So he's
yeah,
fielding calls. handling the emails. He's setting a schedule. He's doing all the work on site. And I know how I've been in his shoes. So I know if you're on site and you're taking all the calls, you're going to be on site a lot longer than you normally would be because you have to, feed the machine. And so
Yeah.
I just was like, hey, look, one of the best things that you could probably do is get a VA, right? I got my VA is on here right now, Marcel and Miko. We call him Miko, but super cool dude, very motivated. But he helps us out, for like 20 hours a week, But you can get a personal assistant like that to help you field those calls, set your schedule, to handle your emails, right? You can do it for basically anything. And so, I just kind of got to talk to him a little bit about that. It was just kind of nice, man. It was just like, look, dude, you're starting off. It's going to make your life a lot easier if you get a little bit of help right off the bat because, you'll be able to pull in more work and you'll be able to get more done every day and make more money ultimately. It's just that that shift there that has to happen.
Yeah.
But
And
anyways,
I mean, it makes sense to like I'm just thinking about like when you were saying like fielding emails.
yeah.
Like I think hiring a cold caller, like everyone kind of knows how that works, but like hiring an admin person who's going to do your calendar and your emails and all that, like most people don't know what that looks like. And so they just are afraid of it. They think it's a scam or whatever. And it's like they never grow because they never learn. So I'm a big fan of John Maxwell. He says when you stop learning, I think he says when you stop learning, you start dying.
John Maxwell.
So
Dude, favorite author. John Maxwell is one of my favorite authors of all time.
Yeah.
I've been reading his material for 20 years. And
oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
He has like 150 books or something.
Yeah, winning with people. Or what was it? One of the other ones, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership.
Yeah.
I love his old books, man. They're really, really good. If you guys haven't read some of John Maxwell stuff, you need to go read it.
It's really good. Yeah. And it's really tactical. Like the 21 Laws of Leadership, like 21 laws that if you apply these, you're going to grow in your leadership.
Yeah.
I just made a piece of content today and I quoted him. He said, growing as a leader is not something you do in a day. It's a daily thing. So like take small steps daily.
Yeah.
Not, I'm going to go from 0 to 100 in a day. You're not Drake.
Yeah. That's funny.
So
yeah, exactly. It's not going to be it's not a one-hit wonder. It's like Pace says, you're not running. It's not a race. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's okay to just take cautionary steps, but take the steps,
Yeah.
Don't just sit on your hands and absorb all the information and not do anything. Because if at some point that information is going to leave your mind and you're going to forget it, if you're not putting it into action, it's going to be gone within weeks. Sometimes for me it's within days. If I don't put it into action, it's like shit gone. So
I think one thing that helps me remember a lot of stuff is one, talking about like what you learned, but also I used to use Notion, just basically like a notes app for all my notes. What I've started doing now is like journaling physically because like it's scientifically proven that journaling helps you remember because of how it works in your brain.
Yeah.
I'm not a scientist. I'm a high school dropout. So I don't know exactly how that works, but I know it works for me. And
you're in
there
good
are
company,
scientific
bro.
studies behind it. So,
I'm also a dropout.
Oh, there we go.
Which is funny because I'm not a quitter. Damn it. I ain't a quitter. No. But no, yeah, it's so true. It is they've done studies on when you put pen to paper, you're 30% more likely to remember those notes, those things that you're writing down. And in fact, they talk about it at really good conferences that I've been to. They go, hey, I know everyone, you got your laptops, your tablets, your notes in your phone, but that's why they always give you notepads, because it's way more impactful if you actually physically write it. So true. Hey, anybody have any questions for Tony before we move on? Questions for Tony. Don't be shy. Anybody? Any questions? Anybody have youngsters his age that you might be able to, get some value out of? Any questions? No? Virtual hands? Okay.
And then if you are okay with it, Lance, I would just like to share how they can get a hold of me.
Yeah, of course.
That's cool.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Let me share my screen just for one more second.
And you can throw
Let me
any
pull this up.
links in the chat too if you want, man.
Okay. So I have a community I am building on, if you guys have heard of
Ooh.
School, if you guys are Hormozy people, um, he is a investor in School. So I'm
Mm.
linking the community in the chat. I don't know if there's a way to pin in here. Um, we are not doing calls yet just because I'm still building the community. So there's like
Mhm.
not, I don't have, 25 people that would be actively in it.
Yeah.
But if you guys join, like I'd be happy to set something up. And then at official Tony Boutros on Instagram. I post on Instagram, but it's like Opus Clip, like AI created shorts. I primarily create content on YouTube I also post that on my podcast, which the podcast is on all major platforms, Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music, etc.
Sweet.
I just have the text. Um, I don't have the links. I can get the
Where's your
links for you
personal
guys, but
assistant to post the links for you? No.
yeah, I need to get I need to get a VA.
Actually gonna have maybe Miko do that next time. No. I think my team's in here. Guys, can you post our stuff as well? If you can go give Tony a follow, guys. I think Tony and I are gonna do a podcast together. I'm pretty sure we already talked about it.
Yeah,
But pretty like-minded, and he is eons ahead of most of us, especially ahead of me. At 21, I was still smoking dope and drinking heavily, partying, doing all kinds of dumb shit at his age. I didn't start figuring it out till I was about 23. To be honest, I didn't slow down much. I mean, I was working full time, but I was
yeah.
partying a lot, and
I don't know that I've figured it out. I think I still have a lot of growth to go through myself.
yeah.
Uh, and
Well,
there's definitely a
yes,
lot of patience in my current season. Like,
you're
yeah,
so far ahead,
there's a
though,
lot of
dude.
patience, but yeah.
You're so far ahead
Um,
though from most of us. Your thought, your mind, your head is in the right place. That's the biggest battle, man. You're
yeah,
you're on your way, dude, and I want to give you kudos to that and make sure you understand how powerful it is, that you are where you're at. You're freaking crying out loud. You're 21 and you're doing a coaching, have a school platform. Holy crap, dude. That's something to be really proud of, bro.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
will. So I'm at a young adult ministry group right now. So, if you guys don't have questions, I will be hopping off.
Yes, sir.
But do hope to see you guys in the Reborn Pack. There's also like a short, 5-minute video on there, kind of describes like what you will expect, once you go to that link. So,
Sounds good, brother.
before I hop off, any questions?
I think that's it, man. Nobody has questions. Everyone's got it all figured out. Thank you,
Cool.
Tony. No, just kidding. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you coming on, man. Have a great
Yeah,
evening. Look forward to hopping on your podcast at some point in the near future.
sounds good. You guys have a blessed evening. Thank you so much.
All right, bro. Take care.
Peace.
All right, guys. Well, wow, right? What a kid. I'm gonna say kid now that he's gone. No, that dude is awesome. Holy crap. I said, hey, I'd love for you to come and share. And he starts messaging me, yo, can we get on early? Can we get on? I want to, dial this in and get everything. I was like, huh? You know, he goes, well, he's all, what do you think? Is this, I might go a little longer. And he sends me this whole presentation. I was like, not what I really had in mind, but sure, man. Go ahead, dude. I figured, what the hell? I mean, the dude's got a powerful message, and that's why I wanted to bring him on here. 21 years old. 21 years old, he was battling major anxiety, major debilitating anxiety and depression, guys. He figured out that if he kept his mind busy and started focusing on certain things, that he could move the needle forward. And that's why I wanted to bring him on. That's powerful. My daughter actually is figuring it out. It took her a while, but she's kind of like her old man. It started off a little slow, but she's super proud of her. She just got her GED. She's going to nursing school. She's doing in-home healthcare. She's figuring it out. It's super cool. She's 24, and so yeah, super cool, guys. Yeah, that was super badass. Yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. I just was like, wow, I couldn't believe what he was telling me when I got on the Zoom with him. I was like, dude, I need to bring you on. If this if this young man has figured this stuff out in a very short period of time. What are you waiting for? You know, that's the question. What's your excuse, right? There's no need to live in fear, you guys. You have a community here, right here in this room. There's some heavy hitters in here. There's people who are action takers, you know. We're here to help. I want to extend an invitation if you're looking for your first deal, or if you want to JV with us, my team. You know, a lot of my teammates are here. Josh Grimmett is our underwriter. Where's she at? Cynthia Robles is on here. She's our acquisitions manager. My wife was on here. I hear her on the phone in the other room, but yeah, like we're here, right? We can partner with you and take deals down together. We have experience with wholesaling, fix and flips, novations, you name it, wraps, seller finance, sub two, you know what I mean? Creative strategies, all kinds of stuff. I'm a great negotiator. So I want to extend that to you. If you have a potential lead or a deal and you're not sure about it, right? I want you to basically learn enough to see if it passes what I call the sniff test. And if it passes the sniff test, right? If it doesn't have any red flags immediately right away, one being I need funding tomorrow or next, like Monday, that's to me a no-go. But a decent deal, like someone you've been building relationships with, not some random Facebook messenger that dude sends you a deal and he hasn't even said his name or said hi, introduced himself yet. We don't want that. But we can help you close deals and partner with you, walk you through, and and split the profits on it. And we will teach you how to do everything from start to finish. That's what we offer. Pace actually will tell you to let us, that we get all the profits, but we don't do that, right? We want you to get your first win. And for me, a win isn't a win unless you're getting some money in your pocket, So, but anyways, I wanted to throw that out there to you guys. So please feel free to reach out anytime. Let's see. There was a question in here. What was it that lost the 10 grand? Lance, you said that you lost $10,000 not vetting them enough. Can you tell us the best way how to vet someone? Yeah. So first thing you want to do, very first thing, and it sounds really stupid, and I felt really stupid when we realized that we didn't do this. Okay. Are you guys ready? You got your pen and papers? Pens and papers out. Ready? Google search. Run their name in a Google search. Yeah. Wow. Right? Yeah. I was kicking myself in the ass for a while after that. And so basically what happened is I was really new to the community. I'd only been in for a couple of months. I moved out here. I didn't know anybody out here in East Texas. And I went to a meetup in New Orleans, but right before that, it was like December, like a month after I joined Sub 2, month and a half after I joined the Gator community. And I blindly trusted two mistakes I made. One, we didn't vet the borrower who was in Los Angeles. Two, I blindly trusted the partners that brought me the deal. I thought that they were really experienced with this stuff and knew what they were doing. Those were two massive mistakes that I made. And that's how I lost my $10,000. So it was $1 million lesson though, right? I'd never done that again, and I won't do it again. And hopefully you guys never will after just telling you this, but a simple Google search, check county records, right? In the city that they're in, that kind of stuff. Really easy to find out if they're a career criminal, if they have fraud, or if they've been convicted of any felonies. You can find out pretty quickly. The best way though, to avoid those mistakes is to squat up with someone like myself, or another seasoned investor or Gator in the community, guys. Let's see. Did anyone have any questions or anything else? Josh, Matt's not here. Matt, our guy, he had some stuff to take care of tonight. He had the question list. Josh, do you have access to that, or Cynthia?
I have it.
You do. Do you want to?
Yes.
Is there any good questions that we can throw in to the mix
Yes.
if nobody has any questions in here? All right.
Give me 1 second. I'm trying to get the best one for you. If you get money for an EMD, how does that person get paid back at closing? The PML or for entry?
Yeah, you get paid through the title company when the deal closes. So if you're going to fund EMD, we basically, when we do an EMD deal with one of our partners, we bring in a gator to fund our EMD. I actually do. We can fund our EMDs, but I like to feed the gators. So we bring in gators to fund our deals. So yeah, the gator funds the EMD. The deal closes. We like to give them you'd say it's a 30-day EMD, but it's smart to go 45 days because closings rarely happen on time. Even if it's a fast close, I'd always get 30 to 45 days before, you have any late fees accrue, but yeah, you get paid out of closing. It all has to be instructed with title. You want to make sure you are talking to the escrow agent involved, who is handling the deal, right? Really important to know the escrow officer who's handling it. So always, if you're funding a deal, make sure you get on the phone with the escrow officer. Make sure the title company is legit, real. Look them up online, call them, and talk to the escrow officer. Make sure they understand the instructions on your EMD and everything. So, and I'm not going to get any more deeper into that because my wife handles all that, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. Thankfully, she's not on here. But what else?
You do have a question on the chat.
The chat. I already put my info in here. It's if you scroll up, it's right here on my phone. It's right there on my picture here, man. My phone number is right there, bro.
There's another question. What task would you prioritize daily to keep getting consistent deals?
How do I get consistent deals? What, can you read that again?
Yes. What task would you prioritize daily to keep getting consistent deals?
That's a good question. I mean, it depends on what kind of deals, so consistency looks like what we're doing now, networking and finding strategic partnerships. So looking for those strategic partners who can complement your strengths. You need to have, if you want consistent deal flow, it's going to be tough to do it all on your own. I can tell you that. You need to partner with the right people. And the way you do that is through networking and being intentional, and ask people what you're looking for and let them know what your strengths are. You've got to be able to share your goals and your vision. You want to make sure your partners align with your vision and your mission. It's super important. Okay. Thanks, Lori. Good to see you. So yeah.
Would you like another question?
Sure. Does anyone else have any questions? Anybody? It's Ricky in the dark again, man. You're scaring me, dude. Yeah, let's read one more question. Oh, he's got his hand up now.
Yeah.
Oh, we got two hands up. All right, let's take some questions here. Go ahead, Rick. Come on up, man. Thank you, Cynthia.
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Good. What's up, big dog?
Oh, nothing much. Just so that kid was talking about, so the wholesale. So the wholesale thing, is that kind of like the easiest way to get into like your first deal, or what do you recommend? Like trying to.
Yeah,
What do you recommend? Like the.
It's how most people get started making cash. So I'm not going to say easy. There's no easy way. It's simple, but it's not easy. It takes time and consistency, But yeah, it's basically you can find lists. You can find No problem. No problem, man. So yeah, I was going to say you can find lists and call expired listings or pre-foreclosures. Those are the best ways to find your first wholesale deal. They call it the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Those kids remind me of
Okay, yeah.
you and your kinfolk when you were young, man. You guys were some hellions, bro. Holy shit.
They
I
left me
remember
alone
going.
until I took it on mute. As soon as I
How
took
many-
it off mute, then here
That's
it
so
goes.
funny. How many siblings did you have though? You guys had like 6 brothers and sisters, 7 or something
Yeah,
like that.
14.
A ton. How
Yeah,
many?
7 sisters and 6 brothers. So
Oh
14
my
was all good.
God. Yeah, I remember going to your house when we were kids, man, and like they would just be on attack mode, just beating the shit out of me and whoever else, like throwing shit at us. And oh
Yeah,
man,
there's.
that's so funny, dude. Anyway, so
Well,
I just had a little
wanted
flashback there, but yeah, we can get on a call too. I can get you a little more information on that, man, if you're looking to get something like that going.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see my money make some money. So
Yeah,
I
wholesale
appreciate
deals.
you, brother.
That's where most people start, bro. Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. All right, brother. Well, I love you.
I love you
Good
too, bro.
talking to you.
Good to see you, man.
I'll talk to you on the next one.
Hey guys, it's so cool to have my old buddy coming joining these Zooms, man. I love it. We grew up well, I grew up with his older brothers in Palmdale, California, funny enough. And yeah, we were partners in crime. We ran the streets causing all kinds of trouble. I won't get into that. But Amari, you said I could call you Amari, right? It's going to be easier,
No,
bro.
no, I'm ready.
God dang it. Sorry. I was close.
It's all
man.
good.
How's it going, bro?
Doing good, man. Nice to see you this week again.
Yeah, you too, buddy.
Yeah, man. I had a question. So I'm gonna be in a Zoom this Friday with a guy from Owners Club.
Yeah.
And he's looking for Gator lenders.
Sure.
And I wanted to know what questions should I be asking him to vet him as a borrower, and to vet his deals.
Let's see. Hang on a sec. Let me lower your hand. That's a pet
Yeah.
peeve of mine. Man, it's so much deeper than that, but I can scratch the surface on it for you and give you just some stuff to kind of get to kind of get that vibe check on them. You know what I mean? The first thing I want to know is, can you show me 5 HUD statements from the last 12 months? I want to see the HUD statements from the beginning of the deal and the close of the deal. I want to see the timeline, if your lenders were paid back on time or if the lenders were paid back late, what your profit margins were. You can see all that in the HUD statements. And then another thing I like to do, if they're a seasoned investor, then they've borrowed money from other lenders, I want to talk to at least 1 or 2 of those lenders, right? And make sure obviously they're legit, but the Google search, I think I touched on that, and check county records to make sure they're legit. But there's a lot of other things too. I'll always make sure the deals go through title. Don't ever falter on that. That's a good way to lose your money, So always make sure there's a deed of trust, a promissory note in place, and a JV agreement as well. But to go back to the vetting part though, I actually will do a background and a credit check on everybody that I work with now, because, we lost money. We got sideways into some deals with some other lenders too, man. I mean, I'm not that guy that's going to sit here and bullshit everybody and say I've never had bad deals. When you do close to 100 deals in the Gator community, you're going to have some bad luck, here and there. But we've grown and we've evolved, right? And we've morphed and we've added all these layers of protection. So those are some of the things we do. We want to see, I'd like to see, close to a 700 credit score, right? It doesn't mean everything to me, but I do want to see that they're somewhat stable and paying their bills on time, because that's going to show you a lot. You know what I mean? If you see their credit score, you can see their kind of credit history, and you're going to know if they're paying their important bills on time, and kind of what that looks like. So those are some really easy, good things to dig into right off the bat.
Sounds good. Would you also ask, like, if they have a business or other businesses outside of real estate, asking what their cash flow statements are from their businesses, and how much money is coming in and out of their bank accounts and things like
Sure.
that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I would ask whatever you feel comfortable or even a little uncomfortable asking. I would definitely ask that. Yeah. Are you able to cover some of this if something doesn't work out? Do you have your own money you can put into it? That's totally fair, or a fair question to ask, especially if you're just getting to know them, you know?
Yeah. The other thing that they mentioned was that they have cash that's liquid sitting in a trust.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on that? Like, what do you think when someone says that? It's like,
Liquid cash sitting in a trust. I would ask them to borrow it.
yeah.
You know, well, and it's funny because, you know, you're lending money out, but maybe you want your money to make you money, but why wouldn't you also borrow someone's money to do other deals too and pay? You know, that's
Sure.
what a lot of people are doing. That's what I know I do it, but
Yeah,
my money's out there working and I can get someone else's money for a little less than
Yeah.
what I'm getting on my money. It makes sense, you know.
for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, if you need help negotiating and stuff, let me know, man. Like we talked a little bit about squatting up earlier. If you feel comfortable, great. If you don't, please reach out to me and we can help and we can JV on this first deal.
For sure. And I think some people might be asking this question too. I did go on your website to JVs. I know, do I just fill out that form even though I might not have all the information? And would that be okay if I end up doing that?
Yeah, you just want to get as much info as you can. Oh, that's another thing. You want to see the contract agreement, you know. I'm missing a lot of things because I was caught a little bit off guard here, but you know, purchase and contract agreement is a must. You don't ever get into an agreement with somebody that's getting a deal under contract. It's got to be under contract before we move on it. I like to see 2 weeks to turn around a deal too. From the day I say, hey, yes, this is a good fit, let's squat up, or I can help you. I can get the funds for this deal. I can help you fund this deal 2 weeks from that day, right? So I want all the information beforehand, though. I want that JV agreement filled out, contract. I want photos, the scope of work. I want to know that they have a contractor already lined up, you know, if they need a rehab and all these different things. I want to see the timeline, you know, and I want to have the background credit check, everything done. Then from that day, I'll have them sign a JV agreement with me. I'll get a 50% deposit, and then boom, we're off to the races. You know, I'd like to see 2 weeks, 2 weeks in total, actually, you know, so about a week and a half from that point, I can get the funds 99% of the time. So very rarely will I have to push a closing date out, but I always get deals funded.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. The other question I had was, I don't know if you know Jamie Franco or Jamie Marcos. Sorry. You ever heard
Marcos?
of him? Jamie Marco.
I feel like I have.
Yeah, so I was
I don't
talking with
know him.
him.
Mhm.
He obviously people have different appetites for lending money.
Yeah.
And he gave me a recommendation. He's like, when you're loaning out money to fix and flippers, the main thing you want to just make sure is that person a good person? Like, are they a good individual where you know that, you know, if they run into a situation, they'll try their best to make up for it and try to pay you back. You know, obviously deals don't go the right way. So that's why he recommended talk with people belly to belly,
Yeah.
ask the questions where, you know, you can try to kind of determine with the way that they talk that,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
they're individual that you would want to lend to. Like, what
Yeah.
are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's not, I don't agree entirely. It's a 50-50 mix. I used to think that, but I got into bed with some people who turned out that they were in over the head and they grew too fast and they screwed a lot of people. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to agree with that completely. It is true in a lot of cases. You know, I'll do whatever I can or whatever I have to do to get someone paid back, you know, but things do go awry. Things don't always go smooth, obviously. But I would say they have to be, the deal has to make sense though. You know what I mean? It has to make sense. I want to see at least 15%, preferably 20% like profit margins in a deal. I want to see that they have what I call the oh shit fund, right? The contingency fund for it's not a matter of if, it's when something's going to go wrong. There's going to be something hidden, a hidden expense costs, you know, in the deal, you want to make sure that they have allocated funds for that already. Those are little things you can pick apart right away and kind of find those red flags on a deal and a person. And so if you're asking for information, they need to close in a week, let's say, and you have to ask them again a day later, you don't have that information still. To me, I'm out right there. Boom, done. Like, I'm not going to chase someone around and ask them questions if they want to borrow money from me. You know what I mean? People don't think about that stuff. But what happens is it's kind of a precursor to what's going to happen with the communication. If you think about it, right? If they can't even get you the information for you to make a decision if you want to lend on it, what do you think is going to happen? 2-3 weeks, a month into the deal, they're not communicating, and then it's time to get paid, and then some things went wrong, but you don't know it because they haven't told you, they haven't given you progress reports, right? So there's all kinds of things, that you want to look out for. I like to see progress reports when I go into a deal with any borrower, weekly updates, photos, and verbiage. I prefer Google Drive, right? Have a Google shared drive, photos, and then let us know what's getting done, what's gotten done. You can also do an escrow holdback if it's a larger amount, especially where you can give them little doses of the cash. You require them to send the photos and the progress report to release additional funds to get more contractors paid. That's another good way to handle that. So
you're basically saying that you don't always vet the person itself, but if the deal makes sense and you have all the contingencies put in place, you'll still loan money, even though you might not know the individual completely.
No, but
okay.
I'm just saying they're both equally important. That's all I'm saying.
Understood.
Yeah, 100% vet. And I'm really, if you're not referred to me or I haven't been talking to you at least for a month or so, I'm probably not going to fund a deal with you. Unless it's if it's a third party, like say, hey, Lance, I've done deals with this person. My funds are dried up, but they're looking for funds. Like makes it easier for me to make a decision. I'm still going to do every single thing in my process with every single person. I don't care if Pace himself says, hey, Lance, I've lent this guy $1 million. He's a great guy. I'm still going to run everybody through that process. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying the vetting the person is and the deal are both equally important. Oh, that's funny. It's going to put a thumbs up. Sorry, I'm dorking out. It's my ADD. I saw the little thumb coming up. Okay, sorry guys. But yeah, bro, hopefully that helps, man. Like I said, I'm happy to talk to you more about some stuff. Yeah, and shoot me some text message or whatever, wherever you feel comfortable with, bro.
No,
I just want to make sure you're protected and safe.
For sure. I appreciate it. Thank you, Lance.
All right. Thanks, brother. Have a good night.
Yeah, thank you. I'll still be on, don't worry.
All right. Sounds good, man. All right, guys. Anything else? Anyone else have a question before we wrap this thing up? Might want to read Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell. I haven't heard this one yet. Studies have shown that we human beings are actually really bad at reading people. That's good. I like that. I will definitely agree with that. And I'm pretty good at picking up people's body language and certain clues, stuff like that, or the eyes moving around. But there's 100% truth to that. How to Win Friends with and Influence People is a really, really good book too. That's one of the very first books I ever read over 20 years ago. All right. Someone step up to the plate. Uh-oh. We have another question. Yes, sir.
If no one else has a question, I got another one.
Come on up, man, and then we'll wrap it up after this.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be a long-winded question, but I was watching one of your podcasts you were in one of your podcasts, and you talked about your relationship with you and your wife.
Yeah.
And the initial relationship that you had where you had a little bit of, I guess, yeah, I don't know if anger might be the right word, but you were kind of upset that your wife wasn't contributing as much as you would like for her to in the business. And I kind of have I just got married actually at the end of August, and I had that I don't think I have it right now, but I think we kind of figured it out. But I did have that initially because I was like, I don't think my wife, I'm working 24/7.
Yeah.
And my wife is like, once I work my 8 hours, I'm chilling and I'm I'm hanging out. Well, so she's hanging out and I'm still working. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, like I want you to work too and help me out with this.
Yes. It's hard. Well, here what
So
I
how did
realized.
you get over that? Yeah. What did you
So
realize with that? Yeah.
well, I almost lost I almost blew it. That's how. So I it wasn't any subtle hints. That's the thing. Me, like a lot of men, I don't get subtle hints very well, you know. I need to be smacked upside the head with a frying pan. Like I need you to be very direct, you know, most of the time.
Yeah.
I'm actually gotten really good at reading it, but Lance 1.0 was not good at the subtle hints at all. Now I've learned to draw things out of her and ask her questions. Something wrong? Something bothering you? What? Let's talk about it, you know. But
Yeah.
for me and her, and it's going to be the same with you, you're a more driven individual than she is, and I didn't understand that. I am more driven, and I'm more of a go-getter. I'm a visionary. I'm a leader, you know, and
Yeah.
she's a helper, right? She's a come alongside and help you out. What can I do to help? And a hard worker, you know, and I'll never take that away from her. She just doesn't have the same drive, and I was
Yeah.
pushing her to be at my drive, and it was a big mistake. I did it a couple of
Yeah.
times just unknowingly because we had this momentum, and I'm like, yeah, let's fucking go. Like, oh, just pumped and just,
Yeah.
oh, we're getting it. And she started pulling back. It worked because I respond. If you're like me, you respond to pressure. I respond to people pushing me a little bit. And
Yeah.
you know, I pushed too hard and she just pulled completely back, didn't want to have anything to do with it. And I was just like, and then it just started causing friction and fights and arguments all the time, you know? So I just couldn't understand it. So I can relate to that big time. But my mistake was thinking that she would have the same level of drive and enthusiasm and just grit, you know, and everything that I had. And that was a mistake on my part. So, and I own up to it, man. You know, that's the thing. I knew I was making a mistake. At the time,
Yeah.
obviously, I was just like, we're so close. Cause you know, it was a multi-level marketing business this one time. Well, both actually the three times, I think. But
Yeah.
we made like we started making thousands of dollars in the first few months. We qualified for all these bonuses and trips and all this stuff. And I'm just like, do this, you know? And she's like, yeah, okay. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what, dude? Like, what?
We're gonna get money.
What? How are you
Yeah.
not sharing this enthusiasm? But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just funny. Like we're just built different, obviously. But yeah,
Yeah.
she's pumped up now. Like, well, like I just give her space, man. I learned just to kind of just back off. You know, I can do it. I can run hard. I don't need
Yeah.
her to run hard with me as long as she's doing her part. So we've established roles, you know,
Yeah.
over the years. And so I do what I do. This is what I love doing, helping other people, getting on Zooms, bringing the deals, bringing the money.
Yeah.
And closing the deals, negotiating the deals. That's where my strengths are, right? And she's really good at just doing the back office stuff. She loves being on the computer. I don't. I don't like being on the
Yeah.
computer. If I'm on the computer, this is what I want to do on the computer. That's maybe check some emails, right? But I'm not a computer. I'm not big time on the computer, man. She loves it. So she's working with title. She's doing post close. She's keeping our client customer relations going. You know, she has some great strengths. And so that's what she does, and this is what I do. So it works out better that way. Kind of
Great.
figuring out our roles and staying in our lanes. That was a big thing for me, staying in my lane. It's so easy now because we're on such a good like vibrating level, right? We're high vibration,
Yeah.
and then we just have this like super dope relationship now to where if I'm swaying out of my lane and I feel like I might have gotten into her lane, I'll just look over at her and she just gives me a look and I'm like, shit. And then I'll just call myself out. I'm like, oh, I just stepped into her lane. I'm going to let her talk, you know? But yeah,
Well, that's cool.
it's dope.
I think the one thing that helped me is because I have a 9 to 5, and then I would come home and I wasn't sure what she was up to, and I'm like, I come home and I'm working. I'm like,
Yeah.
What have you been doing for the rest of the day?
Yeah. Are you on Facebook and TikTok while I'm busting my ass
Yeah.
over here?
Yeah. So now I
Yeah.
communicated to her and I told her, I'm like, I just need to know, I see my love language is kind of the love language of, where you kind of help your partner out. I forget what the exact word was.
Yes.
So I just need to know, like, hey, what you're up to, how was your day, what you ended up doing. And once
Yeah.
I hear that, I'm like, yeah, I did this, I did that. I'm like, wow, I love it. Because I feel like she's working towards the same goal as me, and
Yeah.
and she's there with me, side by side, and that's like my love language.
Yes. I love that, man. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'm glad that you brought that up because that was a crucial part of a crucial mistake that I was making. I was loving my wife in my love language for most of my life. I didn't know any
yeah,
better. Most of us don't. So when you get to that level and you understand that your partner's love language is different than yours, and you
yeah,
learn how to love them in that love language, it's a whole different ballgame, man. Changes everything, you know.
for
Hers
sure.
is words of affirmation. I'm a gift giver. I love
Yeah,
gift giving and oh, come on, affection. I'm an affectionate person. I like to be, touch and feel and hug
yeah,
and snuggle.
yeah. Love
I'm
it.
gonna say it. I'm being vulnerable, guys. Okay, but no, that's for me. That's what it is. And
Yeah,
she's pretty complicated but simple in the love language area. So,
yeah.
but hopefully that helps, man. Happy to hop
It
on
does,
too with you and your girl too, man. With my wife, and we can talk about some more of this stuff.
for sure, man. I'm excited. Thank you. I appreciate
Sweet,
it.
bro. All right, take care, man. All right, I think we had one more question, so I will field this question, Joseph. And we're doing good, guys. Man, thank you guys for hanging out. I love hanging out with you guys. To be honest with you, I look forward to this time every week. So, guys, also, if you have anybody else who's struggling, stuck, or just wants to get on and network, invite them. Share the link. Bring them in. I'd love to see more people on here next week. Joseph, what's up, buddy?
Hey,
Hey, how's it going, man?
well, good. I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone. I'm obviously new to all this, but my question's regarding wholesaling
Sure.
because I'm looking at doing that. Would you recommend like starting in my local market, or would it going virtual, or what would be the best option there?
It really just depends on what you want to do. Starting off in your backyard is always easier. Yeah. I mean, you can drive the properties. If it's a good market, I'm going to say that, right? If you're out in Podunkville, then no. If you're close to a good market or you're in a good market, absolutely, man. You can drive, you can go walk the properties, you can talk to the agents, to the sellers, meet them in person. That's always powerful. So, but yeah, we're doing we have a wholesale business. Some of my teammates are on here, but we're focused here in Tyler. It's a growing hot growing market. So it's always nice, but if you're doing W-2 9 to 5, man, it's going to be tough, right? You're going to have to schedule
Yeah,
stuff in the evenings and on the weekends. You have to be willing to sacrifice time away from family, time away from TV, sports, whatever it is, for a time for a time being, you know what I mean? You can even bring the wife and kids, whatever, with you. They can sit in the car or whatever. I
yeah,
wouldn't recommend bringing the kids out to walk properties though, because it's going to distract you and it's going to be tough to be able to focus and have a conversation with the seller or the agent. But it's definitely, here's the thing. When you're locking up deals, most people kind of have a misconception that when you find a good deal, you're going to lock it up that same day. That's not how it works 99% of the time. You will get a deal here and there that you'll lock up on the first call, but very rarely, man. It's 8 to 10 points of contact. You're going to email them, you're going to text them, you're going to get on a call with them, show you the property, get on another call, follow up, send them an offer. You want to have as many points of contact as you possibly can and find the pain point. Find out why they would sell it to you for 50 or 60 cents on the dollar. Why would they do a sub-2 deal with you? Why would they seller finance deal? You have to know why to give you the confidence. You have to know why they would do it before you really can lock that deal up. I mean, because at the end of the day, we want to build relationships. Even if you don't lock up that deal, you're trying to establish relationships with sellers and and agents. That's always got to be your number one goal. You know, the last thing you want to do is burn bridges and piss people off in town. You know, so that's kind of my advice, you know, to you. I would definitely start if you have a good market for sure, man. Where's your market? Where do you live?
I'm in Huntington, West Virginia, so I'm not sure if it's the best market.
West Virginia. Josh, where you at? Isn't Josh over there in West Virginia somewhere? I don't know. Josh, are you in West Virginia?
No, I'm actually in Virginia.
You're in Virginia.
Virginia. It's a little bit different over here. The old Commonwealth.
Is you built different over there in West Virginia or in Virginia? What is so? It's actually two different states. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yeah, it's two separate states.
Okay. I should know that. My geography's off tonight. So is it like back-to-back states or is it like a few states apart?
No, we're next door neighbors, bro.
Your neighbors, bro. Well, shit, you guys need to squad up, man. Josh is wanting to get some stuff going.
Bro, this guy has done reached out. We done have a Zoom scheduled and everything.
Oh my God. You guys talking in the comments? All right.
You're
Cool.
right.
Well, there you go. Josh is an awesome. The cool thing about Josh is he's going to be able to tell you if it's a deal or not. You know, Josh and I have been talking for over what, a year now, at least over a year. But Josh and I had been talking for a while. He was like you and like a lot of people, just wasn't sure where he fit in, and he would come to me with good questions and add value. Right, every time he talked to me, it wasn't just like, "Hey, what's up, man?" It was like, "Hey, dude, what would you do in this scenario? Or how do you do this? What should I do here? What should I do there? Can you hop on a call?" I mean, that's the type of shit that I love, you know, and I recognize it. Not a lot of people do that, and so I always tried to help Josh out. And then we ended up deciding that we would squad up and, you know, build a team together. Right? He's on our team. He's underwriting. He took a top tier underwriting course, and he's ready to make his next move. Right? He's ready to buy some property, and so you guys should definitely squad up, and we can help lock up deals and close deals with you guys. So, anyways. Josh can help too. He knows what good markets look like, what hot markets look like, what sellers market, buyers market. So you're in good hands with Josh, man.
I appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. All right, bro. Take care, man. Thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna wrap it up for the night. Thank you so much for coming. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can re-register. I don't know how that works. Chad's not on here. He's our automations guy. He's our tech guy. So, but thanks everyone for hopping on. Please come on next week if you have any questions or you have anybody that you know in your sphere, in your circle that's struggling, that needs help moving the needle. Please invite him to this Zoom. I'm more than happy to help. And if you guys have any deals or if you have potential leads, bring them to us. We can help you close them, guys. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Have a good night.